All right, so now what we're going to do is cover I.F.A.Ks. All right, some of the items in the I.F.A.Ks that you need to treat these wounds. Yes?
Stupid question. What's an I.F.A.K?
I'm about to cover that. An I.F.A.K is an individual I, first, F, aid, A, K, kit. I.F.A.K. Individual first aid kit. Just tear along the edges. And now you have 2 chest seals.
Front and back.
Front and back, that's right. Okay? The material is airtight and waterproof. Okay? But it's vacuum packed and it fits nice and neat in this one little packet that can fit in your pocket. Inside that is a cravat. The most versatile bandage you could ever have. If you don't have a cravat, you ain't cool. Plain and simple. All right? This thing can be used as a bandage, a sling, a swath, a headband, a rag, a do-rag. You can use it as a towel to dry your body. You can use it as shade. You can use it as, if you want to go rob trains, banks, automobiles. All right? But wait, there's more. There's more plastic. Another chest seal. Tear it in half. All right, use it for smaller wounds. All right. I'm a big resource management person when it comes to medicine. Why? Because I had to carry an 85-pound rucksack plus my aid bag, and I'm sorry. I don't want to carry stuff for you that you can carry. You'll get this to seal up your chest. But wait, there's more. Safety pins. Probably the most versatile thing you can use. Could I use this as an airway adjunct? Yep. Absolutely. I can use this, I can shove it through the end of your tongue, through your lip, and hold your tongue up if I have nothing else. I'm at least keeping that tongue off the back of the airway. Can I use this to sew up something? Yeah, big gaping wound, safety pin it. I can use this in abdominal evisceration. Shake the guts back in, use safety pins to hold that gut back together, okay? Safety pins rock. All right, so right here, we're already into 2 items and we got like 50 million different uses.
Are we concerned about infection
Did I
and
ask
stuff?
you a question?
No. Are we concerned about infections and stuff, or is that secondary?
When we're dealing with you, we are definitely worried about infection. With anyone else, guys, sterility in the field is you can't do it.
Okay.
There's no way. You can't even be clean. All right? By clinical standards, nothing is clean either. If you need to backfill a big wound with mud to hold structure, to splint it, you do it. You know what I'm saying? Now, we want to try to keep it as clean as we can, all right? But we're getting this guy to an OR where, guess what? They have an endless supply of water that's already sterile that they're going to dump through. Am I right? They irrigate, okay? And then antibiotics. Yes, Gavin?
Stupid question. If you've got an evisceration, they say normally you just leave it, you don't try and put the intestinal contents back. But, I mean, you're saying you can just shake it back and close up the wound with the safety pin?
You can.
Would that be in the field where you days out from help?
Yes, if you have no place else to go except down the mountain, you know what I'm saying? Or downhill for the patient, that's when you do it. And we're going to show you just how to wrap them, but one of the uses you could use here, literally, is sewing things together. Just approximating those big lacerations you saw on that guy's back.
Like a suture.
Yeah. Start in the middle and work your way out. Half, 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 and half. You can use safety pins.
So you put together a little bag of safety pins.
But wait, there's more. They're already in your cravat, in the Dog Brother Martial Arts I.F.A.K. All right, so gauze. Now, this little thing of Curlex, all right, can go a long way. But what have we got here? More plastic. Guys, I'm telling you, plastic's awesome. There's 2, and we're going to go over these individual things, all right, over in the dojo, because we're going to learn all these different skills that we talk using it. But Curlex, you don't need big wads of it all the time. A lot of times it comes compressed like this, and what you do, and I'll go over more, you open it up, and now it's more bulky. okay? But we could use just this right over top to make a pressure dressing or something. But you need to have something that you can use as a bandage and as a dressing. All right? Anybody know
Probably
the difference?
even use that as a tourniquet.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What's the difference between a bandage and a dressing? A bandage, nope. A bandage goes on the wound, the dressing goes on the bandage. Here we have another item that's in there, and basically these, what is called a top sponge. All right, this is what you could put on the bleeder itself. Now, granted, this is not, you know, some big bulky bandage, but there's a couple of them, so I could use these to stuff into wounds or anything else, and then back that up with the Curlex that I have. Okay, you kind of need a little bit of this to help with all the other stuff.
So that would be the first thing down, and then you wrap it and tie the
Absolutely,
other
right
thing
on
off
top.
for safety, pin it off.
Yep. All right. And in the other side of the case, excuse me, is an abdominal dressing. And what's on the back? Plastic. Have I made it to the point clear about plastic and plastic bags? All right. This is called an abdominal dressing. All right. It basically got a cloth sack with more Curlex in the middle of that. All right.
And the Curlex is the anticoagulant.
No. The Curlex is the bandage itself, like that roll, the first roll
right,
that we
okay.
did, or even the second little dressing, like our bandage. I'm sorry. So this right here would basically go over any large laceration. Then you could back it up with the Curlex, wrapping it around. All right.
So it has nothing to stick it in place. You got to.
Right. You use the dressing to hold it in place. All right. Then it's got a small thing of I.F.A.K. All right. Now I.F.A.K is a impregnated sponge, basically, that helps stop the bleeding with the chitosan. Now does anybody here have fish or iodine allergies to lobster, shellfish, anything like that? Okay, don't touch this stuff. Okay. Sometimes it can cause a reaction. So, you good? All right, so what you would do with this right here, this is basically a mini quick clot. Okay? This, you can actually smell it. All right? What we would do with this is touch that bleeder for 2 minutes, back up on it, and hold that pressure on it. Okay? Once you hold that in, for how many more minutes?
2 to 4.
2 to 4 minutes, that's right. Then we apply the Curlex or the bandage over top of this to help stop that bleeding. Okay?
What if someone is allergic to it? All of a sudden they're going to go into...
We got Benadryl for that.
Then you do the cricothyroid.
Yeah. Then we just go straight to a crike. We let the doctors deal with that because guess what? He didn't bleed out. Woo! I win.
That's called a what again?
I.F.A.K.
I.F.A.K.
Okay. Not a bad thing to have in your kit. All right. The next thing in there, duct tape. What 2 things do you need to fix a car?
Baling wire and duct tape.
Baling wire and duct tape, right there. That's my plan. That was your plan? Yep. Duct tape and a gun. What movie is that from?
I remember.
Peacemakers. That's your plan? Yeah, that's my plan. All right. So, duct tape. We put this over the plastic to seal up the chest wounds. We use duct tape to go across those big lacerations. We use duct tape to go around and hold pressure. We use duct tape to hold anything we need. Splinting. We use duct tape to shut somebody's mouth. We use duct tape as a tourniquet around the neck. No, just kidding. Remember, no tourniquets around the neck, okay? But we take off what we need and we put it on there, okay? And we're going to go over those individual skills. Don't worry, I'm laying on every part. Now, at first, when I saw this, I was like, why in the hell would you put Tegaderm into a first aid kit? But then I got thinking, there's a lot of good uses for Tegaderm. Tegaderm is a clear, sticky bandage is really all it is. All right? So you can see right through it. But if you have a laceration, all you got to do is approximate the 2 sides and pull them together. All right? This right here can go over small penetrating wounds. All right? It's plastic. It doesn't leak. All right? That's right. How many times I mentioned plastic? Lots. All right. So even something as small as a little thing of Tegaderm, in that small case of, hey, I need to seal this little hole, or hey, this is just another little puncture wound, particularly with stab wounds, this can seal it up. All right, and then last but not least, gloves. All right. Not only will gloves protect yourself, all right, they protect the other person as well. All right. Now, if it's a family member, I'm sorry, I'm not going to worry to search for gloves. What is this then? Seal. You know what? I would cut it and use it to seal up holes. Okay? And it always works great as a balloon. You know, for little kids, here, occupy yourself while I deal with, you know, this. Right? No, it really doesn't work that effective for that because they still squall. But the thing is, guys, if you're touching anybody else, you need to protect yourself. All right? Particularly if there is fluid-to-fluid transfer. All right? So you need to have a set of gloves.
Gloves can also make a good quick tourniquet.
Absolutely. Like for the arms or something like that. Now, you know, other body parts like your thighs, a little bit different. But a lot of times, given an IV, we just take a glove, wrap it around, and tie the pinky to the thumb. That works pretty good. All right? Now, that's just the smallest I.F.A.K I've ever seen has the biggest impact of what you really need. It deals with bleeding, right? We don't have any real airway stuff, all right? But what's the number one killer? Hemorrhage, all right? And pretty much, you know, everything in there is for controlling hemorrhage.